Well, we weren't going to record an intro to this video, however, it looks like the fish have taken a shining to a Hemi V8. It looks like it's got a couple of issues. None of the HT leads are connected on the left bank, but hopefully they can get that sorted. So we've been working on our Rover V8 engines, and the Ford Thunderbird's been in for an upgrade. So after the splash screen, you'll see what we've been up to. Okay, so got this lovely TR7, stop laughing, I know I said okay so, I always start with okay so. Got this lovely TR7 in here. It's got a 3.5 litre engine in, just a standard camshaft. The gentleman's only just had this basically fully restored and converted over to a V8. Didn't know about us at the time of ordering the engine, but does now, seen our YouTube videos, is a fan, and wants us to get the engine set up and running correctly. So we're doing ignition upgrades. Already had MagnaCore plug leads on here. He'd purchased an amplifier, had brought that in for us to install. And we're also going to correct the needle and jet profiles on this Weber 500 or Edelbrock 500 carburetor, because they're not what we run in the car. Although it drives very smoothly, there's certainly no misfires, no imbalances in the engine or anything. It definitely doesn't perform like it should do. It's feels very restricted because the fueling's off. So Steve's now getting on with that whilst laughing at how I start sentences. Moving over to here, we've got the 90 in here, which we've had in before. I think the last thing we saw on our Facebook timeline on this was a brake upgrade. We did braided hoses, new discs and EBC pads. Coming for front caliper rebuild, because with having new discs and pads, pistons and calipers always get pushed back to, well, they date them really, their starting point, which they often haven't seen for a long time. The pistons are just pitted, and it's just creating a little bit of a binding there. No issue in terms of brakes not working or any heat generation, but we're just getting a little bit of a clunking from the brakes, which is just the pistons not releasing from the brake pad properly. So the brake pad's just skipping along the disc when you're cruising, really. Moving on, those that watch my occasional live streams in the evening, you'll recognise this Range Rover. I'm now going through a bit of a overhaul. I've mind the step, Steve.
Mostly worried about the welder and tripping over it.
Okay, so...
All that diff that you've left there.
Yeah, well, I was bringing you over to this area, really.
Oh, right, well, I'll come around here then.
So, yeah, I've got 4-pin diffs front and rear with 4.1 ratio ring and pinion gears on there. New 2-inch shock absorbers. We've got Goodrich making up extended hoses for this, and we will also have part numbers produced for standard length brake hoses and extended in case anyone else is doing a lift. And all new brakes, new discs, new pads, new calipers, new accumulator, and also another master booster or master cylinder booster block, whatever you want to call it, because I think I've got a small issue with mine, which is a click in the brake pedal, so hopefully changing that will cure that. The Thunderbird's back in, so let's pop out and see that. So the Thunderbird then is back in with us. The customer's really pleased with all the engine work we did with the cylinder heads and the rocker assemblies. However, due to a few fueling issues, it's finally time to remove that Holly carburetor and fit the Edelbrock. We've also gone to a Facet electric fuel pump and put the Edelbrock in on there. Instantly much smoother throttle response from the bottom end. We're just about to do some tuning on the road with the wideband. Initial thoughts are it's just driving lovely, but obviously we might be a little bit off on the fueling, so we're going to double check that. But I thought we'd fill you in with that. The TR7 that we just saw a second ago, we've now finished doing the tune-up on that, and haven't had a chance to go up the road with the camcorder, but we're now about to see the customer drive away in it. He's really happy with it. so just had this MG RV8 dropped off to us this morning, in for our normal programme of work for these. So ignition upgrade is number 1, ECU rechipping to take it away from its Range Rover fuel map. Steve, you've not driven one of these before and after our work, have you?
Not until about 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, so you've just driven before. How was it?
Low gears, it's nice. Yeah, it pulls like a big engine in a small car.
Yep.
Third and fourth onwards though, there's a bit of sort of hesitation. When you put your foot down, it doesn't really do what you think it will.
Yeah. I'll play those words back to you after our work, because you'll see actually how wrong it is now, but it gets away with it by being a big engine in a small car. So we'll get Steve on to doing his bits under the bonnet, and then you can go up the road again.
Sounds good.
Right, Steve from the workshop has done worked all of his magic, as he normally does. So the throttle butterfly angle has been set, along with the throttle position sensor voltage. Magna core leads have been installed, along with our good quality cap and rotor arm. The RPI amplifier is now fitted up.
Under there somewhere?
Yeah, under there, yeah, with a brand new Bosch coil installed as well. Airflow meter CO trim has been set, and we've been out on the road and set ignition timing. We've dug under the aircon unit and pulled out the ECU, and you actually fitted the chip in that, didn't you, Steve?
I did.
Yeah, but we didn't make you get the ECU out. Maybe I should next time. Good fun the first few times you do them. So I reckon you need to hand me that and jump in.
Alright.
Well, one of us needs to shut the bonnet. Okay, so your first experience, I'm guessing no headshots again?
No.
Yeah, anything from the neck down, yeah?
It'd cost you too much.
Okay. Your first experience of a remapped and upgraded ignition system on an RV8, yeah?
Yes, from the driver's seat anyway.
From the driver's seat, yeah, so go for it. Here we go. So this is sort of exactly the same as... Oh, hang on.
I agree.
Yeah, me too. Just the same as Morgan Plus 8s. Very similar to TVRs and Westfields, etc. Let's move back so Steve's got a clear view of the road.
That's a difference.
Yeah, even down the bottom end light throttle you notice it, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, no throttle at all there really.
It just pulls.
It just works.
We'll go a slightly different way to before. We'll still turn left through the cut. So the remap's essential because at the moment, or before, it was thinking of itself as a...
Yeah, okay.
Thinking of itself as a 2-ton four-wheel, or nearly 2-ton four-wheel drive Range Rover, which obviously it's not. And the ignition upgrade, getting that bigger spark, just means it's going to burn its fuel far more efficiently, which equals smoother throttle, quicker throttle response, better performance, and better MPG. I do believe I may have videoed the sky for a minute on the fly past you did.
Videoed the sky.
But that's just the fact that I'm not a cameraman. Actually, just slow down to a stop, Steve. We'll do the test. The test. The demonstration.
Yes, it certainly takes off quicker.
Yeah, definitely. So you know what's coming.
I know what's coming.
Yep.
Go first.
Yep.
There we go. No throttle.
No throttle. First gear. You can grab second already.
It's my first time doing the test from this side.
And third. Yeah,
third.
Just go for it, yeah. And fourth. You don't need to worry about slipping the clutch, just get it straight up. There you go.
There you go.
This is actually something we do with all customers once we've done all this work to show them how smooth it can be, so grab fifth.
So we're actually in 5th gear before the speedo has started moving.
Yeah, so let me just come over here. So the speedo isn't registering now. The speedo is in kilometres. The rev count is at 400, although we know that's not very accurate. So now can you accelerate?
Of course.
Oh, I knew you could. Pulls well for 5th gear, doesn't it?
Oh, is that 5th? Could quite easily confuse it for 3rd.
Well, as per normal, we've changed roles and I'm on the camera, so hopefully Steve will turn around and come past, and I will decide whether to go low down with a sweeping view or high up with a static view, or a mixture of the two. We shall see.
I could drive this all day.
Well, we're not going to. It's only done 18,000 kilometres.
I know, I feel bad making that number go up, but...
Feel how bad I felt when it clicked round from 17,999 to 18.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like peeling the plastic wrapper off someone else's TV or something. You can't do that.
Oh yeah, I'm that person that goes around the house and does that. Have you not bought any recent laptops I can peel the plastic off?
Not that I'm going to tell you about.
So how is your RV8 experience then?
Lovely. I wasn't sure it could be improved when I drove it this morning.
It's misleading how well they feel, isn't it?
Yes.
But actually, how wrong they are.
Of course, you were telling me when I drove it earlier, the vacuum advance was...
Yeah, so being a Japanese import, when this got exported over to Japan, well, produced for the Japanese market, it had the vacuum advance plumbed up to a constant vacuum on the trumpet base on the plenum chamber, and then the distributor retarded to compensate for the vacuum advance that was always in. So it's a known thing with the RV8 register and the clubs to move that when they come into UK. Well, ideally they need moving even when they're in... There's a bump there, Steve.
There is a bump there.
When they're in Japan. And then obviously the ignition timing correcting. So, yeah, another well-sorted RV8. So we'll head back to the Batcave, back to the workshop. This pretty much concludes this workshop update. I'm not doing much side view. I'm not as good a cameraman as you are.
Right, you get half a second of my face.
Yeah, half I can do a
second.
quick motion blur past and out the window. This is where we've been. So
If you
yeah.
could see me, I'd be smiling ear to ear.
So I think it just leaves one little road test to do of a vehicle that we showed you earlier on, which has now completed all its upgrades. The Ford Thunderbird went really, really well. The AFR's absolutely superb on that. Nice steady mid-14s on cruise, on overrun. Yeah, almost the same as an EFI engine, sort of going lean on overrun, just how you'd like it to for a bit of efficiency. And on open throttles, 12s to 12.5s. Occasionally dipping to high 11s on wide open throttle, which is maybe a little bit rich in an ideal world, but absolutely fine for the car and its driving. I think we're actually going to be moving the fuel pump on that next week, though, just to the back of the car, just to reduce a little bit of the noise from it. I think we may be looking at replacing the front rear pipe on it for the fuel, but we'll have a look at that as well. Anyhow, we'll see you in just a moment in another car. Are you going to say bye?
No.
Fair enough. So yeah, out in my P38 then, which we saw on the ramp earlier on. Actually just following a really nice Land Rover, which from the sound of the exhaust note is V8. Although I dare say they're not going the way we're going. And the brand new Camaro that's behind us certainly isn't going the way we're going.
I don't know if I can see them, they're back there somewhere. We're going this way.
We're going this way. Don't worry everybody, this is a official byway, a green lane. So yeah, really, really pleased with all the work I've just done on this. 4.1 ratio diffs have definitely brought the gearing back to where it needed to be. with regard to the taller tyres I'm running. Geared much more like original gearing now, to within a couple of mile an hour on the speedo. The EBC brake pads with the Goodrich hoses and all the new components on the brakes, absolutely amazing. I don't actually think I've been in the P38 for a long time with brakes like this one. As soon as you touch the pedal and brake how you normally would, I'm actually backing off it to brake at a more realistic gradual speed, because it's trying to pull me up to a stop quicker than I'm wanting to.
I can actually feel the bite from over this side. So.
That's saying something, then, isn't it? So
got a friend.
Sorry?
You've got a friend.
Oh, is there a horse? Oh, I've got a bug on me, had I?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just clocking some miles on, putting the differentials through a few heat cycles, which I understand is a reasonable idea with new diffs. And then obviously I've got those inspection holes so I can have a look and check the mesh mesh between the pinion and ring gear isn't causing any issues. And then after a few hundred miles, or probably 1,000 of how quickly I clock them up, I will do an oil change just to flush out any impurities or anything that's in there. So yeah, we'll just do a little video of a few snippets of this green lane, then head back to the workshop. I'll probably end up with both wing mirrors folded in a minute. Yeah, I do have an issue with the door locks, the common problem with the micro switches failing. It does lock and unlock itself, so it's on the to-do list, which has halved. With all the work I've just done, I've halved the to-do list.
Is that all?
However, I have added, as you know, and a few people have guessed and are in the loop, I have added a rather big to-do on this, which will probably come later this year or beginning of next, but a few other things to do first.
That one's sort of its own sheet, isn't it? It's a to-do page.
Pretty certain this lane, I've only driven it a couple of times, gets rather narrow up ahead.
Well, it seems to be.
There goes that wing mirror.
You didn't need it.
First time I drove this lane, I got to here and got scared, so I reversed all the way back. And then the next time I drove it, I was a bit braver and thought, my car's already got a few scratches on it, what's a few more?
It's fair to say that this one has got some scratches. I just got hit in the head by a tree.
And it's got a leaf fall on my head. Memory serves me correctly, there's an interesting exit to this one as well. I think we have to sort of go off a bank a little bit to go around a tree. But I might be remembering incorrectly.
There's so many nearby that you can't remember them all.
Surprising how many are actually in this area. I know the all-terrain group really enjoyed their trip that I plotted for them a couple of weeks ago when we had the Green Lane, Responsible Green Laning talk at RPI Engineering. Do you miss your 4x4 yet?
Always. Of course, I wouldn't have to if you cared to donate an engine. Getting a little bit tilty.
Yep. Which the camera will not show.
It never does. Hang on.
Camera always
Oh,
lies.
we're on a real bank here.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh boy.
Right, so just about the end of this lane. That concludes this workshop update and little green laning trip as well, which we hadn't really planned to do, but why not? Might break water on that stump that's sticking out. So, Steve, if I could ask you to, in a second, pop your wing mirror out.
Yes.
And we will sign off there, I think.
Okay.
Probably best just sort of mention to everyone that I'm off to Thailand next Tuesday. Tuesday the 12th, 13th, I forget which.
One of the two.
One of the two, yeah. One of the Tuesdays. I'm not sure if you guys will still be doing workshop updates. It's been a little while since we've posted one, actually. But you'll still be photographing and videoing what we do.
Depends if I can get Steve to present it.
You might do, you never know. But yeah, I'll be doing some photos and videos from Thailand. I'm going over there to help out Chris with a couple of cars over there. Classic Range Rover and a P38, and I think his own P38 as well. Go to experience Thailand a bit. So when I'm back, we'll do some more videos. Up until then, RPI will be doing all it normally does with Rover V8s. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you.